Part 15. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Ju Yu. Chapter 141. After the shock, someone murmured, "Isn't he cheating?" As soon as he finished speaking, someone immediately refuted him, "Cheating? How to cheat? Didn't you see how fast he was just now? That's not human speed at all." Another person also said, "That's right, his speed has exceeded the limit of human beings. It's too scary. I really didn't expect that, looking at how weak he is, he can be so powerful. That's right, it's really surprising." At this time, Dugozixi waved to Neolution again, "It's your turn." Neolution did not give up, walked up directly, introduced himself to Dugozixi, "I am Neolution, captain of the second team of the Qianlong Special Forces Regiment, please give me your advice." Dugozixi stretched out her hand and said, "You'd better make the first move, please." Neolution nodded slightly, without any politeness, and directly waved his iron fist towards Dugozixi's face. He practices foreign Qigong, and his muscles are as solid as iron. When he tenses up during the exercise, no ordinary knife can penetrate his skin. Dugozixi also heard the voice of someone questioning his cheating just now. This time, facing Neolution's iron fist, Dugozixi did not dodge, but raised his fist and punched Neolution's fist directly. Two fists collided. Neolution instantly felt an inner force flowing down his hand and hitting him hard, causing him to fly up uncontrollably. As Neolution screamed "Ah!", his body as tall as an iron tower also landed on the sand pile with a crash, splashing sand on his face. A victory may be said to be accidental or accidental. But in the second battle, it was such a face-to-face confrontation, Neolution still couldn't catch even one of Dugozixi's moves. At this time, none of these elite special forces dared to speak. They looked at Dugozixi with a hint of admiration, but they were even more confused and puzzled. How did Dugozixi defeat Lengbing and Neolution? His speed was too fast, and winning or losing happened in that split second. They didn't even see clearly how Dugozixi won. Dugozixi looked at the remaining soldiers and said calmly, "You all come together, I will challenge the whole group by myself." Although these special forces elites have all seen how powerful Dugozixi is, these two words from Dugozixi still deeply affected their pride and self-esteem, and they all became angry. "Damn it, this guy is too arrogant. Brothers, come together and defeat him. Come on." At this moment, everyone was no longer polite to Dugozixi, and wanted to work hard to harm this arrogant pretty boy. Unfortunately, their dreams are beautiful, but the reality is much crueler than they imagined. The first person to rush forward was directly waved away by Dugozixi and fell to the ground. The second one to rush forward was still knocked down by Dugozixi with one punch. In the end, Dugozixi was surrounded by people. When everyone saw his arms move, they felt a huge force coming towards them like an overwhelming force. This powerful force, even if they tried their best to gain a foothold, were unable to resist at all, and everyone flew out together. At this moment, Dugozixi truly let them know what kind of talent is called a strong person. They felt ashamed of their arrogance just now, but also excited to have someone as powerful as Dugozixi as their instructor in the future. When Dugozixi slapped them away or shook them away, he always left some room to spare. He just let them fly out and fall to the ground, but they would not be injured. At this time, everyone quickly got up, walked to Dugozixi, and respectfully saluted him with a military salute. "Hello, instructor. Hello, instructor. Hello, instructor." Dugozixi also saluted them with a military salute. "Hello, comrades." Commander Zhao Dashan, Commander Wei Ting, and Deputy Commander Ruan Kengjun, who were also shocked and speechless, only then came to their senses. The three people looked at each other and saw excitement in each other's eyes. They really didn't expect that Dugozixi was so powerful. He was so powerful that the entire Qianlong Special Forces Corps, the best in the country, was defeated by him alone, without the ability to fight back. Is that human being? Can one person be so powerful? Just when they were all asking this question in their hearts, Duguzixi raised her voice and asked them, I ask you, do you want to become as powerful as me? Think. More than 100 people roared in unison, shaking the entire base. Duguzixi suddenly straightened up and said with a cold face, I understand your feelings very well now, but if you want to get my true biography, you must pass my assessment. In the next 3 days, I will give you the exam. Only those who pass the assessment will be eligible to be taught martial arts by me personally. In addition, I want to make it clear that once you are eliminated during the assessment process, you will be returned to the original army and cannot stay here anymore. If anyone is afraid of being eliminated, you can sign up and leave now. As soon as Duguzixi said this, some people were dissatisfied. Why do those who are eliminated have to return to the local army? That's right. It would be shameful if we were sent back. At this time, Commander Zhao Dashan stood up and shouted loudly, shut up. Your elite Qianlong Special Forces Corps, who are known as the number 1 in the army, can't stand the test. He glanced at everyone with his cold eyes and shouted in a deep voice, I'm telling you right now, what Instructor Dugu will bring out is an invincible team. You have just witnessed how powerful Instructor Dugu is. If you rely on ordinary means, you will never reach his level. Want to be a master? What kind of spirit do you need to possess? Tell me. Tell me loudly. Be hard-working. Work hard. Strong and unyielding will. The courage to fight to the end even if you die. You have to be able to bear it and let it go. Zhao Dashan waved his hand to calm them down. Very good. It seems that you all understand these principles, so what are you still worried about? What are you still hesitating about? If you don't even have the courage to withstand blows and setbacks, I advise you to take off your military uniform and go back to your hometown to farm. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 142. After being scolded by Zhao Dashan, the elites of the entire Qianlong Special Forces Corps were aroused. They all signed up to take the assessment, and no one was willing to retreat without a fight. For them soldiers, retreating without a fight would be a sign of cowardice. If they still lose after fighting, then at least they have fought for their goals, worked hard, and fought hard, so that they can be worthy of themselves and have a clear conscience. Duguzixi spent an entire afternoon setting up the 3-level examination room. The first level is a heavy pressure field, which is used to test the willpower and endurance of these soldiers. The first level is the illusion formation, which is used to test the mental skills of these soldiers. The third level is to check the qualifications. Duguzixi will never hand over what he has learned to a person with evil intentions. No matter how good his talent and qualifications are, he will not be tempted. Once a person with evil intentions learns these powerful kung fu or spells, and no one can control their behavior, it will definitely be a disaster for society and a disaster for the people. At that time, he, the teacher, will accept the karmic punishment of heaven. Therefore, he had to take precautions now and nip it in the bud. After Duguzixi arranged these arrangements, he agreed with Wei Ting that the assessment would start at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and he returned to the dormitory arranged for him by Wei Ting. After placing a defensive barrier in the room, Duguzixi couldn't wait to enter the space. When he entered the space, he found that Shen Tianxing was already waiting for him inside. He also made a table of spiritual food, waiting for him to come back and eat together. Duguzixi felt so warm in her heart instantly. After he cast a cleaning spell on himself, he stepped forward and hugged Shen Tianxing, kissed her forehead, and said sincerely, "Thank you, Xiao Xing." Shen Tianxing smiled and said, "Thank you for nothing. Come and eat quickly. After you finish eating, Tell me what happened today. I've been thinking about you all day. When Duguzixi heard that she said she missed him, she felt even more tender in her heart. When she looked at her, her eyes were so soft that they could drip with water. He smiled and said, "Okay, I'll tell you slowly after eating." During the meal, Duguzixi removed the fish bones and lobster shells for her, and diligently fed the meat into her mouth, only letting her open her mouth to eat. Enjoying the infinite favor from his fiancée, Shen Tianxing narrowed his eyes with a smile and said to Duguzixi, "Zixi, if you pamper me like this, be careful of pampering me into a loser with industrious limbs." Duguzixi smiled softly, "As long as it's my favor, no matter how much it is, I will accept it as it is." Shen Tianxing said happily, "Okay, I will remember what you said, and you must not dislike me in the future." Duguzixi stuffed another piece of lobster meat into her mouth and said with a smile, "I promise you won't dislike it." After the two of them had a sweet and happy dinner, Duguzixi briefly told her what happened in the Qianlong Special Forces today. Shen Tianxing also told him about his own affairs, that is, going to school, finishing get out of class, and finishing school again. She actually remembered something that she had never done, and now she happened to be chatting with him about it, so she wanted to ask his opinion. "Zixi, didn't we get a few large sums of money before? I want to use the money to do good things. How do you think we can do it well?" Duguzixi raised his eyes and asked her, "Have you made any plans?" Shen Tianxing thought for a while and said, "I have thought of several ways. One is to donate to those orphanages, the other is to use the money to open a public welfare hospital to treat the poor people for free, the third is to provide medical services to those in need. Donate money to build roads and build Hope primary schools in poor places." Duguzixi caressed her head and said with a smile, "These are all good ideas. Just do what you want. However, you don't have to do some things yourself. I suggest it is better to set up a charitable foundation and hire professional managers to operate and execute these things and track follow-up matters." Shen Tianxing thought about it for a while, but still adopted Duguzixi's opinion, "You are right, these things should be left to professionals. There is strength in numbers. We only need to provide the money and do a good job of supervision. That's fine. But, will anyone come to investigate the source of the money?" Duguzixi smiled softly and said, "With our Dugu family protecting you, who dares to investigate you? However, just in case, let's make a clear account to the public." Shen Tianxing nodded, "Yes, I understand." Next, Duguzixi continued to work on his training plan. Shen Tianxing also began to prepare for the establishment of the Xingzi Charitable Foundation. Over the weekend, Shen Tianxing found a quiet tea house through the introduction of a head-hunting company and interviewed two people who came to apply for the position of CEO of the foundation. One is a man named Kong Zongshu, 35 years old, divorced. He has an elegant face, a gentle voice, and a careful observation of people and things. He used to be the customer service manager of a certain state-owned bank, but he resigned due to personal reasons. The other one is a girl named Lu Yang, 28 years old and unmarried. Lu Yang has clean short hair, a pair of high heels, a decent little suit, and black slim-fitting pants. She has a slim figure and looks very charming. She has the style of a royal sister. Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang were so surprised that they were speechless when they saw that the interviewer turned out to be a little girl who looked very immature. After a while, Lu Yang smiled and asked, "Little sister, are you sure you're not joking?" Shen Tianxing asked calmly, "Do you think I'm kidding when I spend so much commission to find someone for a head-hunting company?" When Lu Yang saw the dissatisfaction in Shen Tianxing's eyes, she was shocked for a moment. Then she apologized to Shen Tianxing sensibly, "I'm so sorry. It's because I have limited experience and have never seen such a young boss." Seeing how knowledgeable she was, Shen Tianxing didn't make things difficult for her, and motioned for them to sit down first before talking. Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang consciously presented their introductions to Shen Tianxing and said in unison, "This is my introduction." Shen Tianxing took it, glanced at the faces of Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang, and then said to them directly, "Okay, you both have been admitted. At 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, you will go to No X, Building X, Jinxia Garden. Come to me and I will assign tasks to you. Do you have any questions?" Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang both didn't believe their ears. So the interview was successful? No need to ask anything, is that okay? Why does it feel so childish? Shen Tianxing seemed to have seen what they were thinking, and smiled lightly at them. "Don't be surprised, I can read faces. I will know if you are good or bad, and whether it can be used, just by taking a look. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 143. Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang looked even more shocked. Look at faces. The little boss can actually read faces? Is she still a little bit calculating? Oh my gosh. Why do they feel that today's interview is so mysterious? The development of everything was beyond their expectations and completely subverted their outlook and cognition. Chen Tianxing looked at the dumbfounded expressions on the faces of these two working professionals and couldn't help but laugh. "What, you don't believe it? Do you want me to tell your fortunes? It's free." Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang looked at each other and said in unison, "Yes." Shen Tianxing smiled lightly and said to Kong Zongshu, "Kong Zongshu is 35 years old and divorced. He fell into a pond when he was 3 years old, but he was saved by the villagers. He had a car accident when he was 12 years old. Fortunately, he had a great life. Big, only injured his left leg. He was bullied by the school bully at the age of 15 and had a broken rib. He confessed to his ex-wife at the age of 20, you two got married at the age of 25, and your wife cheated on her at the age of 30, leading to divorce." I said right. Kong Zongshu looked surprised and nodded fiercely, "Yes, absolutely yes, little boss, you are amazing." When Lu Yang heard that Kong Zongshu said that the calculation was all right, he said anxiously to Shen Tianxing, "Little boss, let me do the calculation." Shen Tianxing glanced at them. "I asked you, can you please remove that small print? It sounds like my business is not doing well, and it's not a good idea. From now on, you can call me by my name, Shen Tianxing." Kong Zongshu was stunned. "Ah. How can that be done?" Lu Yang immediately responded with a smile, "We will do whatever the boss says. Right? Tianxing." Kong Zongshu had an idea. "I think we should call you Master Shen. I feel that this title can best reflect my respect for you and reflect your identity and status. What do you think?" Shen Tianxing didn't care. "That's okay." Lu Yang begged again, "Master, please do the math for me." Shen Tianxing opened his eyes to Lu Yang, and then said slowly, "Lu Yang, 28 years old, was born in a wealthy family, but his parents were not closely related. He died in a car accident 10 years ago. You are the son of your grandfather. Grandma raised you, right?" Lu Yang's eyes were frighteningly bright. Yes, yes, you are absolutely right. Master, I would like to ask, how old can my grandpa and grandma live?" Shen Tianxing took another look at Lu Yang's future, and also saw the time when her grandparents passed away hand in hand on the same day. She replied, "Your grandparents loved each other all their lives. They lived together until they were 98 years old. Then, they died on the same day. When they left, they were very peaceful and happy." Lu Yang said with emotion, "It's not bad to live to be 98. My grandpa and grandma really love each other, and my parents were also very loving back then." Speaking of this, her tone was a little low and her expression was a little lonely. I have always hoped that I can find a partner like them who can stay and love each other for a lifetime. Unfortunately, people nowadays are too utilitarian. After 28 years of searching, I still haven't found a half. Shen Tianxing glanced at Kong Zongshu next to him and said with a smile, your future partner has already appeared. You will get married in half a year. Moreover, you will be in love for a lifetime and have 2 children, 1 son and 1 child female. Lu Yang's eyes widened instantly. Really? Really? Seeing Lu Yang's happy look, Kong Zongshu also grinned, looking honest and tolerant. At this time, he didn't know that the beautiful woman in front of him would become his future wife. After listening to Shen Tianxing's fortune-telling, Lu Yang admired her so much that he instantly transformed into Shen Tianxing's little crush. She immediately expressed her stance to Shen Tianxing, Master, I will follow you from now on. As long as you need me, I will keep following you. Shen Tianxing smiled and said, you will know in the future how wise your decision is. She looked at Kong Zongshu again, Mr. Kong, what about you? Kong Zongshu quickly expressed his position, of course I also follow the master. It is an honor for Zongshu to be valued by such an expert as the master. Shen Tianxing could feel the sincerity in their words, so he smiled at them and said, that's it for today. Remember to come to me at Building X, Jinxia Garden tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang nodded repeatedly, okay, okay. Master, see you tomorrow. Shen Tianxing walked out of the tea house door, saw a black 5-star car waiting there, and walked slowly over. Yan Wenzhen, a female driver and bodyguard assistant, immediately got out of the car, opened the back door for Shen Tianxing, and asked her to take a seat. Yan Wenzhen was originally a member of the Royal Courtyard Guard Corps. He was recently transferred to Shen Tianxing to serve him. Shen Tianxing originally didn't want anyone to be with him, but he felt it was inconvenient and not free to do things. Du Guoxi said that with someone by her side, she wouldn't have to do everything herself, and someone would take care of her, so he would feel more at ease. In desperation, Shen Tianxing had to let Yan Wenzhen, who could be called an all-round nanny, stay with her, responsible for taking her to and from school, cooking for her, and handling some trivial matters. Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang, who were following Shen Tianxing, were shocked again when they saw Shen Tianxing getting into this black 5-star car. Lu Yang murmured to himself, Master is indeed no ordinary person. Look at the license plate. This is a 5-star car specially reserved for leaders in the capital. She actually got on it. What is her background? She is so awesome. Kong Zongshu smiled softly, no matter what her identity is, as long as we follow the master and mix well, we will always know about it in the future. Lu Yang also nodded, yes, you will always know. At the end of 2000, internet information was not as developed as it would be in later generations. In addition, the engagement ceremony between Shen Tianxing and Du Guoxi, although very grand, was only known to people in the upper circles of the capital. Even if it spreads to other provinces, only high-level people and people in upper-class society in other provinces know about it. If Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang didn't pay special attention to this information, it would be normal for them not to recognize Shen Tianxing. Kong Zongshu looked at the time and saw that it was almost noon. Then he looked at Lu Yang's beautiful face and figure. His heart moved and he couldn't help but invite her, Miss Lu, if you have nothing else to do, I'll treat you to lunch, how about it? Show your face. Lu Yang looked at the moist, elegant, steady, and generous Kong Zongshu, and smiled generously, okay, let's just treat the two of us as colleagues and get to know each other first, and let you spend the money. Kong Zongshu smiled and said, it's okay, it's okay. It's an honor for me to invite a beautiful woman like you to dinner. Come on, I know there is a very delicious restaurant not far ahead. Let's go there to eat. How about it? Lu Yang nodded, okay, you will be the host today, you have the final say. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 144. Kong Zongshu's character is calm and tolerant, while Lu Yang's character is generous and cheerful. When these two people chatted, they felt particularly in tune with each other. They both felt as if they had known each other for a long time and hit it off. When parting, they also left each other's phone numbers and agreed to meet again tomorrow. Lu Yang's home is located on an ancient street in Suzhou City. Her home is a large garden-style house, covering an area of nearly 10 acres, with small bridges, flowing water, and rockery and lotus ponds. The environment is very quiet. The house with blue bricks and ancient tiles is also very simple and elegant, as beautiful as an ink painting. Lu Yang returned home with a good mood. When she saw her grandpa and grandma sitting in the hall, she habitually raised her smile and greeted them, "Grandpa, Grandma, I'm back." Grandpa Lu raised his eyes and glanced at her, a trace of kindness flashed in his eyes. "Yang Yang is back." Grandma Lu waved to her, "Yang Yang, come and sit." Lu Yang saw that her grandfather and grandma's faces did not have the usual smiles, but looked a little sad. It seemed that they were not in a good mood. She also put away the smile on her face, walked to them and sat down, and asked with concern, "Grandpa, Grandma, what's wrong with you? Did something happen at home?" Grandma Lu sighed softly, "It's Zijun's child who is sick. He suddenly had a high fever and fell unconscious today. He was sent to the hospital today. It's been several hours now and he still hasn't woken up. Your grandfather and I both went to the hospital to see him. He has just come back for a while." Lei Zijun is the only son of Lu Yang's biological aunt Lu Yuking. He is only 11 years old this year. He is handsome, well-behaved and sensible. He is a very cute and adorable young lady. Lu Yang also loved him very much. When she heard that something happened to Lei Zijun, she also became worried. "Aren't my aunt and uncle going to die of anxiety?" Grandma Lu nodded, "Isn't that right? Your aunt and uncle are almost dying of anxiety. They only have such a precious son. If something really happens to you, what will you do?" Lu Yang comforted her and said, "Grandma, don't worry, Zijunji has his own destiny, and he will be fine." "Grandma, have you and Grandpa had lunch?" Grandma Lu shook her head, "How can we be in the mood to eat when Zijun looks like this? People are like iron, and rice is like steel. If you don't eat even one meal, you'll feel hungry. I'll get you a bowl of noodles to fill your stomach." After Lu Yang finished speaking, he immediately stood up and walked toward the kitchen. Grandma Lu wanted to shout to Lu Yang not to let her go, but Grandpa Lu reached out to stop her. "This child is filial, so just let her go." Grandpa Lu and Grandma Lu gave birth to Lu Yang's father and daughter Lu Yuking in this life. Lu Yang's parents passed away early, leaving the two elderly people with a lifetime of heartache. The Lu family was in Sioux City. Although they were not ranked among the top 10 wealthy families, they could still be considered a great family, but they had few heirs. This last generation only has one granddaughter, Lu Yang, and one grandson, Lei Zijun. Mr. Lu and Mrs. Lu inevitably feel a little regretful. The Lu family is engaged in the real estate industry. There are many industries around Sioux City, and there are several projects under construction. Mr. Lu, who is very far-sighted about the future, secretly holds a lot of land in his hands, and the potential for appreciation is huge. Liu's real estate company, Mr. Lu is the chairman. Lu Yang's father was originally the president of Liu's real estate company. But 10 years ago, after Liu's father and Liu's mother died in a car accident, Mr. Lu promoted his son-in-law Lei Jing, who had been working in the company, to become the company's president. Daughter Lu Yuking is in charge of the company's financial department. Lei Jing and Lu Yuking also gave birth to only one son, Lei Zijun. But the relationship between the couple is very good, and they work together in the company and at home.
They are a model couple in the eyes of everyone. After Mr. Liu handed over the management of the company to his son-in-law Lei Jing has been managing it very well, and the company's performance has been steadily increasing. Mr. Liu and Mrs. Liu are very satisfied with the son-in-law who has outstanding abilities and is good to their daughter. Liu Yang made a bowl of poached egg and scallion noodles for the two elders, and after watching them eat, he drove his family car to the hospital to visit Xiao Zijun. Lei Zijun lives in the VIP ward, which is a suite with a ward and a living room. When Liu Yang arrived, her aunt Liu Yuqing was wiping tears in front of her uncle Lei Jing. Lei Jing held her aunt's shoulders and comforted her softly, "Ching Ching, Zijun will be fine. Stop crying. You keep crying and crying. It makes my heart break. It's going to break." Liu Yuqing's eyes were red and she choked with sobs as she said, "I don't want to cry either, but I just can't hold back my tears." Liu Yang reached out and knocked on the door gently, then walked in with a fruit basket, and, "Uncle, how is Zijun now?" When Lei Jing and Liu Yuqing saw that Liu Yang was coming, they quickly stood up. Lei Jing asked her, Yang, why are you here?" Liu Yang put down the fruit basket he was carrying and asked them, "Zijun is sick. As a cousin, I must come over and see him. How is he now? Did the doctor say what the disease is?" Lei Jing saw that his wife was still crying, and a trace of helplessness and pity flashed in his eyes. He looked at Liu Yang and replied, "The temperature has just dropped. After examination, the doctor said that the high fever was caused by a cold infection. It should be fine after a few days. Oh, let me go in and see him." After saying that, Liu Yang entered the ward. As soon as Liu Yang entered the ward, he felt cold all over and couldn't help but shudder. She raised her eyes and looked at the air conditioner in the room. The temperature was adjusted to 28 degrees. Why did she still feel so cold? Liu Yang put away his doubts and looked at Xiao Zijun who was lying on the hospital bed. He closed his eyes tightly, frowned, and occasionally let out an uncomfortable groan, which made Liu Yang feel distressed just looking at him. There was an IV drip on the back of his hand, and there were testing instruments on his body monitoring his heart rate and pulse. Liu Yang reached out and touched Lei Zijun's forehead, but she felt that the temperature of his skin was like ice, so cold that she quickly retracted her hand. Liu Yang felt very bad in his heart. She turned to look at her uncle Lei Jing and her aunt Liu Yuqing who were standing aside, and asked in a deep voice, "Uncle, Aunt, why is Zijun's body temperature so low? It's as cold as ice." Lei Jing and Liu Yuqing were shocked when they heard this. "No way. It was normal just now." After Lei Jing and Liu Yuqing finished speaking, they both stepped forward and probed Lei Zijun's forehead. Both the couple were frightened by his body temperature. Liu Yuqing was so frightened that her face changed, and her body swayed, as if she would fall down at any time. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 145. Lei Jing quickly stretched out his hand to support her, and pulled her into his arms, using his body to support her. Liu Yuqing grabbed his hand tightly and said to Lei Jing in a trembling voice, "Husband, go find a doctor quickly. Why did Zijun's body temperature drop so much all of a sudden? Oh my Zijun, how could this happen?" Lei Jing patted her hand, suppressing the fear in his heart, and comforted his frightened wife, "Don't be afraid. Zijun will be fine. He will be fine for sure." By the time Lei Jing was confused and wanted to call the doctor, Liu Yang had already pressed the emergency call bell beside the bed. Liu Yang sighed softly. In their panic, the couple seemed to have forgotten about the emergency call bell beside the bed, and even said they were going to call a doctor. The attending doctor and nurse heard the emergency call bell and came quickly. The attending doctor Zhou Cheng asked directly, "What's going on?" Lei Jing hurriedly replied, "Dr. Zhou, this child's body temperature is frighteningly low now. Can you help me find out what's going on?" "Low body temperature? Zhou Cheng reached out to Lei Zijun's forehead, and the cold touch made Zhou Cheng take a breath. How is this going? It stands to reason that this child has a cold and a fever caused by wind and cold. Although he is unconscious, he should not have such a shockingly low body temperature. Zhou Cheng immediately asked the nurse to bring a thermometer to measure Lei Zijun's temperature. After a while, the nurse took out the thermometer and looked at it, and exclaimed, "Dr. Zhou, it's bad, the patient's temperature is only 28 degrees, my God." At this time, Lei Zijun's body began to twitch, his face turned pale, and the monitoring equipment began to beep. "It's not good, Dr. Wrinkle. The patient's blood pressure has dropped rapidly." Lei Jing, Lu Yuqing, and Lu Yang looked at the scene and felt as if someone had stabbed their hearts with a knife, and their hearts were so painful that they were about to break. Seeing that her son was facing life and death, Lu Yuqing felt her head was dizzy and her heart was throbbing in pain. But she bit the tip of her tongue hard, using the sharp pain to stimulate her brain to stay awake. At this time, she can't fall down. She wanted to see her baby boy get better. Her son is so good and sensible, how could God have the heart to take him away? He'll be fine. He will be fine. Dr. Zhou said to Lei Jing and others with a serious face, "Your family members should go out first. We have to perform emergency first aid measures on the patient." He said to the nurse again, "Xiaolin, go and ask Dr. Yan to come over and help. Go quickly." Xiaolin responded, "Yes." She hurriedly ran out to call someone. Lei Jing, Lu Yuqing, and Lu Yang were also forced to retreat into the hall. Seeing that his aunt Lu Yuqing was so anxious that she almost fainted, Lu Yang was also anxious. What to do? What to do? What should she do to help at this time? When he was panicking and helpless, Shen Tianxing's pretty face full of aura and calmness suddenly appeared in Lu Yang's mind. Lu Yang's eyes suddenly lit up. Master Shen is so good at fortune-telling, I wonder if she can save Zijun? With the idea of treating a dead horse as a live doctor, Lu Yang found Shen Tianxing's contact phone number and dialed it directly. Shen Tianxing was teaching the twins how to practice magic at home. When she heard her cell phone ringing, she took it out and found it was an unfamiliar cell phone number. After thinking for a while, she pressed the call button. "Hello, who's this?" As soon as Lu Yang heard Shen Tianxing's voice, he said anxiously, "Master Shen, it's like this. My little cousin is currently undergoing emergency treatment at Sioux City First People's Hospital. I wonder if you have any way to save him." Hearing that it was Sioux City First People's Hospital, Shen Tianxing narrowed his eyes slightly. "Who did you hear that I can save people?" Lu Yang was stunned for a moment, then replied, "I didn't listen to anyone, but I thought Master Shen was so good at telling fortunes, and maybe you might have some way to save people, so I took the liberty to call you. I'm sorry." When Shen Tianxing heard her explanation, he realized that he was overthinking. She thought just now that someone from Sioux City First People's Hospital had exposed her again. Shen Tianxing stretched out his fingers and counted. The hexagram shows, "Good luck when you go out." Shen Tianxing immediately said to Lu Yang, "I'm going to rush over now and take a look. Tell me where your little cousin got first aid." Lu Yang immediately told Shen Tianxing Lei Zijun's ward number. After Shen Tianxing wrote it down, he said to her, "Okay, I'll go there now." After hanging up the phone from Lu Yang, Shen Tianxing said to the twins, "You two practice first. I have something to do. I will go out for a while and I will check you when I come back." The eldest of the twins, Shen Tiankai, asked, "Sister, where are you going?" Shen Tianxing replied, "A friend's little cousin is in danger and is waiting for me to give him first aid. I'm leaving." When Shen Tianxing walked out of the training room, he saw Yan Wenzhen still guarding the door dutifully. As soon as she saw Shen Tianxing coming out, she immediately straightened up and asked her, "Xiao Xing, do you want to go out?" Ever since the word miss was given the ambiguity of a special industry, Shen Tianxing didn't like to hear others call her Miss Shen. She would either have people call her by her name or call her something else. For example, Master Shen, Little Immortal, Little Miracle Doctor. I feel that these titles are more pleasant to the ear than the title Miss if you choose any of them. Yan Wenzhen wanted to follow her every day from now on, so Shen Tianxing asked Yan Wenzhen to call her name. Hearing Yan Wenzhen's question at this time, Shen Tianxing nodded and said directly to her, "Let's go, take me to Su City First People's Hospital." Yes. Yan Wenzhen didn't say anything, he followed Shen Tianxing out, drove the 5-star car out of the garage, loaded Shen Tianxing in, and sped towards Sioux City First People's Hospital. When Shen Tianxing arrived at the door of Lei Zijun's ward, he heard the attending Dr. Zhou Cheng saying to Lei Jing and Lu Yuking with a look of regret, "I'm sorry. The patient's vitality is very weak now, and his vitality is constantly passing away. We don't have any for the time being. The only way is to mobilize experts to come up with a solution, and you must be mentally prepared." "What did you say?" After Lu Yuking screamed in surprise, her vision went dark, and she fell softly. Lei Jing quickly hugged her with his arms and shouted with choked sobs, "Ching ching, ching ching." When Dr. Zhou Cheng saw that Lu Yuking had fainted, he quickly asked Lei Jing to lay her flat on the ground and pinch her body hard to make her regain consciousness. As soon as Lu Yuking woke up, she kept crying with suppressed voice. Her heartbreaking cries were heartbreaking. But no matter how Lei Jing and Lu Yang tried to persuade her, they just couldn't stop it. Lu Yang raised his head helplessly, and when he glanced at Shen Tianxing standing outside the door, he rushed out as if he had seen a savior, and said hurriedly, Master Shen, can you come? Come on, come in, and take a look. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 146. When they heard Lu Yang calling Master Shen, everyone in the ward turned their heads and looked at the door. They saw a very good-looking girl standing at the door, with a clear spiritual energy. She was like an independent orchid in the empty valley, standing there with a calm and indifferent expression, but no one would ignore it. Her presence. Behind her, there stood a smart and capable young woman with short hair, showing a protective posture towards this beautiful girl. Is this beautiful girl Master Shen? Can she really cure patients? Why does it feel a little unreliable? Lei Jing, Lu Yuking, the attending doctors Zhou Cheng, Dr. Yan, and Nurse Xiaolin all stared at Shen Tianxing blankly, unable to recover for a long time. They didn't react until Lu Yang pulled Shen Tianxing into the hall. After all, Lei Jing had been working in the mall for a long time and had developed a sharp eye. Although he had some doubts about Shen Tianxing's real abilities, seeing that Shen Tianxing's temperament was different from ordinary people, he, just like Lu Yang, hugging Shen Tianxing's arrival, was welcomed with the mentality of treating a dead horse as a living horse. He politely extended his hand to Shen Tianxing. "Hello, Master Shen. Thank you for your hard work." Shen Tianxing did not shake hands with him, but only nodded to him. "Hello." She doesn't shake hands with men, not because she is arrogant, but because her family, Zixi, is too jealous and doesn't like other men touching her. She is strictly forbidden to hug or shake hands with other men, except, of course, her family. Lu Yang saw that Shen Tianxing did not shake hands with Lei Jing, which made him a little embarrassed, so he quickly stepped forward to introduce her. "This is my uncle Lei Jing, this is my aunt Lu Yuking, this is Dr. Zhou Cheng, this is Dr. Yan, this is its nurse Xiaolin." Finally, she solemnly introduced everyone. "This is Master Shen, who I invited to treat Zijun." Shen Tianxing nodded to them and said to Lei Jing and Lu Yang, "Take me to see the children first." Lu Yang quickly led her the way. "Master Shen, this way please, this way." As soon as Shen Tianxing walked into the ward, his brows furrowed. When she looked at the dying child lying on the hospital bed, her brows furrowed even more. When yin energy enters the body, life is at stake. Shen Tianxing turned to Lu Yang and said, "Thankfully you called me here, otherwise, this child wouldn't be able to survive tomorrow." After saying that, Shen Tianxing took out the golden needle directly. After applying a cleaning technique to the golden needle, Shen Tianxing was about to inject the needle. At this moment, Dr. Zhou Cheng shouted, "Wait a minute." Shen Tianxing raised his eyes and looked at him steadily. Under her clear and penetrating gaze, Dr. Zhou Cheng felt that his thoughts seemed to be hidden, and he couldn't help but blush. But he still said to Lei Jing with a serious face, "Mr. Lei, if something happens to Master Shen's treatment of patients, our hospital and I will not be responsible." Shen Tianxing also looked at Lei Jing. If Lei Jing didn't trust her, she would just throw her hands away and leave. Even if she wants to save people, she must also save the destined ones. She doesn't have the heart of a holy mother, and she will never shamelessly treat others when they insult her medical skills and completely distrust her. Fortunately, Lei Jing did not live up to her expectations. He told the Dr. Zhou Cheng with great certainty, "If there is any accident during Master Shen's treatment, I will take full responsibility." After saying that, Lei Jing bowed deeply to Shen Tianxing again, "Master Shen, I'm begging you." Lei Jing couldn't explain why he trusted Shen Tianxing. Anyway, looking at her, he could feel the strong self-confidence emanating from her, which made him involuntarily convince her that she had the ability to cure children. June. Shen Tianxing smiled at him, "Don't worry, as long as the patient is breathing, I can save him." After saying that, Shen Tianxing quickly inserted the golden needle into the acupuncture points around Lei Zijun's heart and forehead. Her phantom-like movements surprised Zhou Cheng and Dr. Yan again. Although they studied Western medicine, they have practiced medicine for many years and have some understanding of Chinese medicine. They also know that the art of acupuncture, just identifying the acupoints and applying the needles, requires a lot of effort from the traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. Experts like Shen Tianxing who don't even need to touch acupuncture points and just give injections can usually only be done by experienced traditional Chinese medicine experts with decades of experience. But this young girl with a childish look on her face had already reached the level of a master of Chinese medicine at such a young age, which made them feel amazed and unbelievable. The yin qi in Lei Zijun's body was frantically devouring his vitality at this time, and he was just one step away from completely sending this child to death. Shen Tianxing did not dare to delay, and used the golden needle to penetrate his spiritual power directly into Lei Zijun's body, expelling the yin qi that was tightly entangled in his body bit by bit. The people who stood aside to watch Shen Tianxing save people watched Lei Zijun's face slowly change from bluish-white to normal color, and then, his cheeks on both sides became rosy. Lei Jing and Lu Yuqing looked at the child's face, which seemed to look better than before. After Shen Tianxing expelled the yin qi from Lei Zijun's body, he injected a trace of spiritual energy to protect the child's heart and brain, and then took away the golden needle. With her spiritual energy protecting his body, the child's intelligence and heart will be better and stronger than ordinary people in the future, benefiting him throughout his life. Shen Tianxing smiled at Lei Jing, Lu Yuqing, and Lu Yang, "Okay." Lei Jing was a little shocked and a little unbelievable, "Okay? Is it just like this?" Shen Tianxing smiled and nodded, and then said to Dr. Zhou Cheng, "The child will wake up soon, and we can remove the things on him." Just when Zhou Cheng was doubting whether Shen Tianxing's words were true, Lei Zijun slowly opened his eyes. Lei Jing and Lu Yuqing rushed forward excitedly, "Zijun, Zijun, how do you feel? Zijun, are you okay?" Lei Zijun sat up directly, looked around, and asked his parents with a confused look, "Mom, Dad, what's wrong with me? Why am I in the hospital?" Lu Yuqing hugged him and cried, but this time she cried with joy, "You kid,
You really scared your parents to death. Your parents almost thought they were going to lose you. Lei Zijun looked confused. Is it so serious? He clearly remembered that before he fell into coma, he was playing with a very delicate and beautiful statue of a beautiful woman given to him by his father. After playing with it for a while, he felt a chill all over his body, and then he seemed to fall asleep. Correct. He seemed to have had a nightmare. In that dream, there was a beautiful woman who kept seducing him, lying on his body, desperately sucking the life out of him, as if she wanted to suck him dry. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 147. When he thought of this, Lei Zijun shuddered violently. Lu Yuking, who was holding him, immediately felt the child's fear. She quickly asked him, Zijun, what's wrong with you? Do you still feel cold? Shen Tianxing, who was standing aside, saw the fear in Lei Zijun's eyes, and said to Lei Jing and Lu Yuking, Mr. Lei, your son is like this because he was stained with something unclean. Now I have helped him get rid of it. There are dirty things, but we have to find the root cause and eliminate them, otherwise, Takako may do it again. Hearing what Shen Tianxing said, Lei Jing and Lu Yuking's hearts suddenly lifted up after they had just been relieved. Lei Jing quickly calmed down and sincerely asked Shen Tianxing for advice, Master Shen, what should we do? Shen Tianxing replied softly, Takako is fine now. Let's go home from the hospital. I'll go back to your house with you to have a look. At this time, while they were talking, Zhou Cheng had also helped Lei Zijun remove the 4 and monitoring and testing equipment lines on his body. Being smart, he didn't say anything more. If they want to be discharged from the hospital, they should be discharged so that he, the attending doctor, can avoid all these troubles. Lei Jing quickly completed the discharge procedures and then drove his wife and son back home. Yan Wenzhen drove a 5-star car and followed Lei Jing's car. Lu Yang drove his own car and followed behind. The Lei family and the Lu family are on the same street, only a few hundred meters apart. But compared with the big house of the Lu family, the Lei family is just a small courtyard. Of course, compared to ordinary people's homes, the courtyard of Lei's family is quite large, covering an area of more than 600 square meters. Originally, there were 3 buildings in the Lu family's mansion, the main building and the 2 annex buildings next to it, forming a pin shape. Both Mr. Lu and Mrs. Lu mentioned that Lei Jing and his family of 3 should live in the Lu family mansion. But Lei Jing is a man who wants to save face and doesn't want to live in his wife's natal family, so he bought this courtyard house on the same ancient street, and his family of 3 lives here. In the small courtyard of the Lei family, in addition to planting some flowers and plants to beautify the environment, a small fish pond was dug, which contained more than a dozen red and white feng shui koi. According to Lei Jing, the couple lived in the main house, while their son Lei Zijun lived in the east wing. When Shen Tianxing entered Lei's house, she opened her eyes directly. As she expected, she saw that the east wing where Lei Zijun lived was surrounded by strong yin energy, and there must be something unclean hidden inside. Lei Jing, Lu Yuking, and Lu Yang were all frightened when they saw Shen Tianxing staring closely at the east wing. Lei Jing asked cautiously, Master Shen, is there something wrong with the place where my son lives? Shen Tianxing replied calmly, there is nothing wrong with your house. The problem should be with the things placed inside. Open the door and I will go in and take a look. Yes. Lei Jing immediately took out the key and opened the door to the east wing. When he opened the door, Lei Jing felt a cold breath coming from inside, making him feel uncomfortable all over. Shen Tianxing said to them, I'll go in and take a look. Without my instructions, none of you should come in. Lei Jing and the others nodded quickly, okay. Shen Tianxing walked in. When she opened her eyes, she saw at a glance a beautiful-looking female ghost in ancient costume sitting in front of Lei Zijun's desk. And on that desk,
there was a statue of a beauty carved from top-quality mutton fat white jade. The appearance of the statue is exactly what this ancient female ghost looked like, and it is also where her spirit body resides. When she saw Shen Tianxing coming in, her eyes were still a little curious. Shen Tianxing walked up to her and asked her calmly, "Why did you want to harm Lei Zijun?" The ancient female ghost suddenly stood up in surprise when she heard Shen Tianxing's question. She looked at Shen Tianxing with surprise and asked, "Can you see the little lady? Can you still hear the little lady speak?" Shen Tianxing hummed lightly and reminded her, "Please answer my question just now." The ancient female ghost snorted coldly, "Why did the little girl harm him?" "Because he humiliated the little girl every day. Every day he took the white jade statue where the little girl lived and touched it. He was so lustful at a young age. If he grows up, I don't know how many girls this little pervert is going to harm, so I'm going to do it for the people first." When Shen Tianxing heard her reasons for harming people, he couldn't help but be speechless. Then, Shen Tianxing lowered his face and said to her in a deep voice, "Lei Zijun is still a child. He doesn't know that your spirit body lives in this white jade statue. He just can't put it down because he likes this white jade statue. How could you harm this life just by relying on your own subjective consciousness? If he really died, you would have committed a sin." A trace of anger flashed across the face of the female ghost in ancient costume, and she snorted coldly, "The little girl doesn't believe that the boy has no evil thoughts in his heart. He even kissed the little girl's statue again and again. If he dares to insult the little girl, he will have to bear the insult, the consequences for the little girl." Shen Tianxing felt that there was a gap in concepts between himself and this female ghost, so he changed the topic directly, "You have been dead for hundreds of years, why haven't you been reincarnated?" The ancient female ghost looked confused, "The little girl doesn't know. After the little girl died, she found herself trapped in this white jade statue and couldn't get out. Until recently, some tomb robbers dug up the little girl's tomb. Take out the white jade statue of the little girl, so that the little girl's spirit body can float out, but it cannot be too far away from the white jade statue." Shen Tianxing said to her again, "You can't stay in the earth forever. I will send you to reincarnation right now. Are you willing?" Shen Tianxing could use force to send her away, or even make her disappear into ashes. But she thought that this female ghost had a relatively innocent temperament and a sense of justice. Although her sense of justice might have been used in the wrong direction, Shen Tianxing still felt that she should be respected and asked about her wishes. The ancient female ghost looked happy, "Can the little girl be reincarnated?" Shen Tianxing nodded, "Yeah." A trace of hesitation flashed across the face of the ancient female ghost. She raised her eyes to look at Shen Tianxing and suddenly asked her, "Can you take the little girl back to your hometown to have a look? When you finish reading it and fulfill your wish, the little girl can be free, hang up and leave." Shen Tianxing asked her, "Where is your hometown?" The ancient female ghost replied, "The little girl's home is in Jinling City." Shen Tianxing thought for a while. Jinling City was about 100 kilometers away from Su City. It would not be a problem for her to take this female ghost back to her hometown for a visit, as long as she was willing to reincarnate after the incident. Shen Tianxing immediately said to her, "I can take you back to your hometown to see it, but after reading it, you must be reincarnated and cannot stay in the earth anymore. Can you do it?" Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 148. The female ghost nodded fiercely, "A little girl can do it." When Shen Tianxing saw that she had agreed, he said to her, "Then you go in and hide in this jade statue, and I will take you to Jinling City tonight. By the way, what do you call her?" The female ghost quickly replied, "The little girl's name is Lin Yuyao, and her home is in Dahua Village, Shibailai Township, east of Jinling City." Shen Tianxing asked her again, "What dynasty are you from?" Lin Yuyao sighed softly and said quietly, the little girl was born during the reign of Zhenzong of the Song dynasty, exactly 1,000 years ago. Shen Tianxing took a look at her luxurious clothes and thought that she should be from a wealthy family at that time. But now that 1,000 years have passed, her hometown may have changed. She only hoped that when she saw that scene, don't be too sad. After Shen Tianxing asked the 1,000-year-old female ghost Lin Yuyao to hide the white jade statue, he took out a piece of cloth and wrapped the white jade statue. Then, Shen Tianxing drove away all the yin energy inside and outside the room, and then walked out of the east wing. Lei Jing, Lu Yuqing, Lu Yang, Lei Zijun, and Yan Wenzhen have been waiting outside. They also vaguely heard Shen Tianxing talking inside, but they also knew that there was obviously no one inside, so who was Shen Tianxing talking to? Everyone is smart. If you think about it, you will know what is going on. Because of this, they felt even more chilled. At the same time, they also took a higher look at Shen Tianxing's abilities, and they also deeply realized that Shen Tianxing's reputation as a master was definitely not just for boasting, but truly worthy of the name. After waiting for a long time, they all breathed a sigh of relief when they saw Shen Tianxing coming out. Lei Jing stepped forward and asked, "Master Shen, how are you?" Shen Tianxing opened the white jade statue wrapped in cloth to them and said softly, "The source is here. This white jade statue should be something just unearthed, because it has been buried underground for thousands of years and absorbed a lot of yin energy. It has become the best carrier for ghosts to hide. If a normal person gets this white jade statue, something will happen to him." After hearing this, Lei Jing and Lu Yuqing's expressions suddenly changed. Shen Tianxing asked them again, "Did you buy this yourself? Or was it given by others?" Lei Jing replied, "It was given by a friend of mine. I took it home. Zijun liked it, so he played with it. Unexpectedly, it almost hurt Zijun." Shen Tianxing reminded him, "If it was given by someone else, Mr. Lei must investigate clearly. Did this person know that there was something wrong with the white jade statue and gave it to you on purpose? Or did he give it unintentionally? If you didn't give this white jade statue to you, instead of marrying Takako, I will stay with you, and you will be the one who gets into trouble." When Lei Jing heard Shen Tianxing's reminder, his heart froze again, and his face became ugly. He said to Shen Tianxing solemnly, "I will definitely investigate this matter clearly. Thank you Master Shen for reminding me." Shen Tianxing smiled and said to them, "There is no problem with your house anymore. You can live there with peace of mind, and there will be no more problems with Takako's health. You can only do harm by keeping this white jade statue, so as not to harm other people. I'm going to take it out and process it, and the white jade statue after processing will be regarded as the reward you gave me this time, okay?" Lei Jing and Lu Yuqing nodded repeatedly, "Okay, okay, thank you Master Shen." This thing almost cost their son his life. Even if Shen Tianxing didn't want it, they would never dare to keep it. Now that Shen Tianxing said he wanted to take it out and deal with it, it would be best if this thing fell into her hands. Lei Jing took out another filled-out check and handed it to Shen Tianxing respectfully with both hands, "Master Shen, we will always remember your life-saving grace for Kwanzaa. This is a small thing on our part, and it is not a salute. Please accept it." Shen Tianxing pushed the check back, raised the white jade statue wrapped in cloth in her hand, and said with a smile, "My reward is already here, charging more would be excessive. If there is nothing else, we will go back first, everyone, see you again when we are destined." Lu Yuqing quickly spoke out to persuade him to stay, "Master Shen, let's treat you to a casual meal before we leave." Shen Tianxing shook his head, "You're welcome, I have something to do here. Let's meet again when we have the opportunity. Goodbye." Lei Jing said cheerfully, "Okay, let's wait until Master Shen is free. We'll treat you to dinner and I'll take you out." Lu Yuqing, Lei Zijun, and Lu Yang also followed Shen Tianxing out. They watched her get into the 5-star car, watched her car drive away, and then returned to the house. Lei Jing looked at Lu Yang and said with emotion, "This Master Shen is really amazing. She has such high skills at such a young age. Her future achievements are simply unimaginable." He asked Lu Yang again, "Yang Yang, how do you know Master Shen?" Lu Yang chuckled and said, "It's fate. I was looking for a job, and Master Shen was about to open a charity foundation. She was recruiting people, so I went over for an interview." Thinking of Shen Tianxing's magical arithmetic skills, Lu Yang said excitedly to Lei Jing and Lu Yuking, "Uncle, Aunt, you don't know. At that time, I and another person who applied for the job were impressed by Master Shen's ability to read faces. We were so frightened that she told us both our fortunes, and it was so accurate. It is precisely because of this that when Ziajun had an accident today, I suddenly thought of her. Unexpectedly, she actually saved our Ziajun. Thank you so much to her." Lei Jing's eyes lit up. Master Shen can also do fortune telling and fortune telling. Lu Yang nodded fiercely. "Judging from Master Shen's performance today, I think she has great abilities. It's probably more than just fortune telling, catching ghosts, and treating diseases. She may have many more abilities." Lei Jing suppressed his inner excitement and asked again, "So, Master Shen should also be able to read Feng Shui?" They are in the real estate business and most want to make friends with these Feng Shui masters. The Feng Shui of a newly developed property usually determines the sales speed and price. If it is a building with good Feng Shui, there is no need to advertise at all, and it will be sold out in the blink of an eye. It is even possible that the building has been pre-sold before it is completed. If this Master Shen knows how to read Feng Shui, then he should make good friends and make friends. Only when there is a new real estate in the future can he ask Master Shen to look after him. In addition, Lei Jing also noticed the 5-star car in which Shen Tianxing came today. He knew that this 5-star car with a special Beijing brand was usually a special car for senior leaders in the capital. Looking at Master Shen, there is also a female bodyguard beside him. It seems that her identity is really amazing. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 149. Lu Yang quickly called Mr. Lu and Madame Lu to report the good news. Mr. Lu and Mrs. Lu were very happy to hear that Lei Zijun was fine, and finally let go of their worries. Mr. Lu and Lei Jing had always been opposed to Lu Yang looking for a job outside. They always felt that they had a company at home, so why should they go out and suffer other people's anger? Lu Yang always said that in the company, she was the eldest lady, and others were vying to do everything for her. She had to go out to temper herself, and she also had to prove her worth and experience the hardships of job seekers and employees. In the future, with rich workplace experience, she will return to the company to contribute. But now that they knew that Shen Tianxing was capable of saving people and exorcising ghosts, and they heard that Lu Yang was going to follow Shen Tianxing, they no longer objected to her going to work outside. They also strongly supported her, telling her to follow Shen Tianxing well. Mix. Lu Yang also told Shen Tianxing that the two old men could live together to be 98 years old. This unexpected surprise made the two old people and Lei Jing even more happy. Mr. Lu and Mrs. Lu said directly that Lu Yang must find time to invite Shen Tianxing to dinner and let them meet Master Shen so that they can admire Master Shen's peerless charm. Lu Yang naturally agreed. As long as she becomes Master Shen's subordinate and works hard with her, are you still afraid that you won't have the chance to treat her to dinner? As for Shen Tianxing, she returned home and checked the spells practiced by the twins. Seeing that the twins were practicing fast and steady, Shen Tianxing was very happy and praised her two precious brothers generously. Then, Shen Tianxing had dinner with her family, told her parents that she wanted to go back to her room to practice, and went straight into the space. The Shen family had long been accustomed to Shen Tianxing's lifestyle, so they didn't bother her and just let her be. When Shen Tianxing entered the space, De Guzixi was already waiting for her in the space. Seeing her coming in, De Guzixi raised a warm smile and said, "Xiao Xing, you're here." Shen Tianxing also smiled at him and told him that he was going to Jinling City soon. De Guzixi immediately said, "I'll go with you." Shen Tianxing did not refuse his kindness. It would be better for him to accompany her and have someone to talk to, than for her to go alone in the middle of the night. The two of them practiced in space until midnight, then they controlled the flying sword, affixed the invisibility charm, took the white jade statue of Lin Yuyao hidden, and flew towards Jinling City. Fijian can travel thousands of miles a day, and it didn't take long for the distance of more than 100 kilometers to arrive. According to the memory read from Lin Yuyao's spirit body, Shen Tianxing found the east side of Jinling City and then found Dehua village in Shibailai Township. The surrounding environment, as she expected, had already undergone earth-shaking changes. The Lin family where Lin Yuyao belonged was indeed a wealthy local family at the time. But now, with the change of dynasties and the rapid changes of mountains and rivers, the place where the Lin family is located has long become a barren mountain with no development. Shen Tianxing released Lin Yuyao, who was hiding in the white jade statue. Lin Yuyao couldn't help but burst into tears when she saw that her hometown had become what it is now, with no descendants of the Lin family left. When she cried so sadly, her ghost became a little weaker. At Lin Yuyao's request, Shen Tianxing took her around the entire Jinling city. Finally, returning to the original location of the Lin family, Lin Yuyao's expression was full of sadness and mourning. She looked at the original site of the Lin family, which had become a wasteland, and her voice choked with sobs. Thousands of years have passed, and the past has changed. It's too late to look back. That's it, that's it. The little girl has nothing to worry about anymore, and she can go to reincarnation with peace of mind. Shen Tianxing didn't know how to comfort her, so he could only sigh in his heart. After Lin Yuyao finished speaking, she looked at Shen Tianxing and De Guzixi, who was standing next to her, and said with a little envy, "Although this little girl comes from a wealthy family, she is not very good looking. She married her husband and has been childless for many years. My husband died unexpectedly again, and my little girl also died of illness early. Master Shen, you are a good person. Thank you for bringing the little girl here to fulfill your wish. The little girl has nothing to repay. The little girl takes you to a place. This is my reward for you." Shen Tianxing was a little surprised. She sent Lin Yuyao here to fulfill her wish. She just wanted her to be reincarnated willingly, but she never wanted anything in return from her. But after Lin Yuyao finished speaking, her spirit body had already floated to the mountains not far away. Shen Tianxing and De Guzixi could only follow with their flying swords. Lin Yuyao took them deep into the mountains and found a very hidden cave. The outside of the cave is covered with thorns. Most people would never imagine that there is a cave hidden behind this forest of thorns. Shen Tianxing and De Guzixi broke through the thorns and followed Lin Yuyao's instructions to dig out the entrance of the cave. If it weren't for Lin Yuyao's guidance, they might not have been able to find this cave. After 1,000 years, the treasures hidden in this cave by the Lin family still exist. Shen Tianxing looked at the treasure boxes made of dark wood, and then opened the boxes. In addition to boxes of Song Dynasty coins, silver and gold, there were also jewelry, jade carvings, calligraphy, and paintings, etc. The most abundant ones are actually the most exquisite and exquisite porcelains of the Song Dynasty. Both Shen Tianxing and De Guzixi know how popular these famous porcelains from the Song Dynasty are in modern times. For example, Junkil porcelain from the Song Dynasty is extremely precious. There is a saying, even if you have a fortune, it is not as good as a piece of June porcelain. Any piece of Junquil porcelain from the Song dynasty that is unearthed in modern times will cost tens of millions, or even tens of millions. Shen Tianxing looked at the boxes of top-quality porcelain produced by Junquil, Ruquil, Quanquil, Gequil, and Longquanquil. Even though she was well informed, she was so shocked that she could not speak. Shen Tianxing asked Lin Yuyao again, "Miss Lin, why are there so many porcelains from various kills collected here? Does your family deal in porcelain?" Lin Yuyao nodded, thinking of the prosperity of her family at that time, and sighed softly, "Yes, at that time, our Lin family was a very wealthy person in this area, and our main business was all kinds of porcelain, so that's why there are so many goods here. Xiao the woman is leaving, and everything here will be left to Master Shen." Shen Tianxing did not refuse pretentiously, she directly agreed, "Okay, I will accept these things. Then I will do good deeds in your name and accumulate merit. I hope to save you some merit and help you to be reincarnated into a good family." Lin Yuyao looked at Shen Tianxing with gratitude in her eyes, and bowed to Shen Tianxing Ying, "Thank you so much, Master, for your great kindness. If there is an afterlife, Yuyao will definitely repay you with a spring." Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 150. Shen Tianxing used his spiritual power to lift up her spirit body and asked her softly, "Miss Lin, are you ready? If you are, I will send you to the underworld to be reincarnated." Lin Yuyao glanced around again reluctantly, and then nodded at her with a look of death. "Young lady is ready, Master, you can start." Shen Tianxing nodded slightly and began to recite the rebirth mantra to Lin Yuyao. As soon as Shen Tianxing finished reciting the rebirth curse, a gate to the underworld that only Shen Tianxing, Duguzixi, and Lin Yuyao, the female ghost, could see, slowly opened in front of them. A bright light emitted from the gate of the underworld, quickly covering Lin Yuyao's spirit body, pulling her towards the inside step by step. The moment Lin Yuyao entered the gate of the underworld, Shen Tianxing quickly drew a lucky charm in the air and attached it to Lin Yuyao's spirit body. With this lucky charm, Shen Tianxing believes that Lin Yuyao will definitely have a good pregnancy in her next life and live a happy life. When Lin Yuyao felt her spirit body warm up, she seemed to sense something, and turned to look at Shen Tianxing again, her eyes filled with gratitude for her. After she entered the gate of the underworld, the gate quickly disappeared again, as if it had never appeared before. Shen Tianxing and Duguzixi looked at each other, and finally sighed, "Let's put these things away first, and organize them after we go back. Some precious antiquities will be donated to the National Museum for collection, and the others will be picked up when the time comes. Go out to the auction and use the money from the auction to do good deeds in Lin Yuyao's name." Duguzixi reached out and rubbed her head, and said with tenderness and doting, "You can do whatever you want." Shen Tianxing put all the things inside into the warehouse of the space and put them away. After confirming that nothing was missing, she and Duguzixi came out of the cave. The two men controlled the flying swords again and quickly flew back to Shen's house. Back home, Shen Tianxing saw that it was still dark before he entered the space with Duguzixi again. The two of them went to take a bath in the spiritual spring together, absorbing the spiritual energy in the spiritual spring, replenishing the consumed spiritual power in the body, and regaining their energy. As soon as it gets dark outside, Duguzixi bid farewell to Shen Tianxing. He is going out to train the soldiers of the Qianlong Special Forces Corps. Now the elites of the entire Qianlong Special Forces Corps have been completely conquered by Duguzixi after seeing all kinds of magical movements of Duguzixi. During Duguzixi's assessment of them, all the hundreds of people from the Qianlong Special Forces Corps passed the assessment, which surprised even Duguzixi. The Qianlong Special Forces Corps is indeed the elite selected from among the top soldiers in the country. Today, Duguzixi will prepare a medicinal bath for them to reshape their blood and bones, making each of them stronger and more unstoppable. After Shen Tianxing left the space and had breakfast with her family, Yan Wenzhen drove her back to her home in Jingxia Garden. The time she made with Lu Yang and Kong Zongshu yesterday was to meet there at 9 o'clock in the morning, so she had to go there early. When Shen Tianxing arrived, it was not yet 9 o'clock, but he had already seen Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang at the gate of Jingxia Garden. Shen Tianxing quickly asked Yan Wenzhen to stop the car, let Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang get in the car together, and then drove downstairs where she lived. After Yan Wenzhen parked the car, the group went upstairs. After Shen Tianxing led them into the house, he said to Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang, "You can sit down wherever you want. You're welcome. Treat this as your office for now." Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang responded, "Yes." Shen Tianxing made another pot of spiritual tea for them. As soon as Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang drank it, their mouths felt sweet and their whole bodies felt refreshed. They also knew the extraordinary nature of this spiritual tea. The two people also asked in unison, "Master, what kind of tea is this? Why does it taste so good?" Shen Tianxing listened to their tacit understanding and looked at the surprised expressions on their faces. He couldn't help but laugh and said, "You two really have a tacit understanding." Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang looked at each other, and both of them smiled sheepishly. Shen Tianxing then replied, "This is tea grown in a special way. It is very good for the body. Drinking it can strengthen your body and prolong your life." When Lu Yang was about to ask her where to buy this tea, Shen Tianxing already said, "This tea is very rare. It is only for our own consumption and is not sold to the outside world. To put it bluntly, even if you have money, there is no place to buy it." Lu Yang's face fell instantly. She just wanted to say that since the spiritual tea was so good, she would buy some for her grandparents to drink. Now that she heard what Shen Tianxing said, she gave up her idea for the time being. She thought to herself that from now on she would follow Master Shen and work hard. Maybe one day Master Shen would be happy and reward her with some spiritual tea like this, and she would be able to take it back to honor your grandparents. After drinking tea, Shen Tianxing assigned tasks to Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang: look for an office building near Su City No. 1 Middle School to see if there is any suitable one. You can rent or buy it. Kong Zongshu asked, "Master, what are your requirements for the environment and area of the office building?" Shen Tianxing thought for a while and said, "My requirements are, first, it should be closer to Su City No. 1 Middle School, and the drive should not exceed 20 minutes, second, it should be close to a building on the roadside, which is also convenient for vehicles to enter and exit, third, it should be close to a building on the roadside, which is also convenient for vehicles to enter and exit. The environment should be good, not a dirty and messy place. Money is not an issue, as long as it meets my requirements." Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang took out their pens and memorized Shen Tianxing's requirements and key points. After listening, they both nodded and said, "I understand." Shen Tianxing smiled at them and said, "Okay, you guys go out for a walk. If you have any news, call me anytime." "Yes." Kong Zongshu and Lu Yang stood up and waved to Shen Tianxing, "Then let's go first." Shen Tianxing also waved to them, "Go ahead, see you later." "See you." After the two of them left, Shen Tianxing also took out his laptop and searched online for the relevant operations of the charity foundation and the auction. She now has many good things in her hands, but many of them are physical objects or antiques. These must be converted into cash before they can be invested in charity. About half an hour later, Lu Yang called. "Master Shen, I found a building here. The location is quite good. It's just at the intersection in front of No. 1 Middle School. This building looks quite new. I asked about it, but it's a bit evil." Shen Tianxing chuckled, "What kind of evil method?"